Yo, what's up?
Welcome, Mere Mortalites.
Mere Mortal Connect.
Mere Mortal Connect.
That's it.
What?
I've actually had someone asking with our recent Hosky experience of when the Mere Mortals NFT is going to come out. It's not, people.
It's not. Although we did call it out
maybe sometime
many months ago. Do you remember we were thinking about doing the NFT?
Yeah.
I've had some interesting learning experiences about other NFTs and the like, and I've not that it's turned me away, but I went. It's a lot of effort.
Agreed.
Like we've seen a couple of Australian projects, right? Who, like some of these people we've seen, they run their own companies. They've formed best intentions, but they've probably put in, let's say 300 hours collectively between the two of them. Let's say that. That's probably like 6 weeks of full-time effort into this particular project, and kind of not eventuated as how they wanted it to. Yeah. So I also don't feel like right now for us, we have the capability, the capacity to put 300 hours to achieve something that we wouldn't want.
Let's get onto this. We'll talk more. I'll do the introductions. Welcome everyone to Mere Mortals Meanderings. This is one where it's definitely on the light-hearted side of the deep conversations, but we'll maybe touch upon some interesting things. My name is Kyrin.
Juan over here.
Juan on the other side of the mic. And yes, NFTs, like on Petar has been saying, you saw his Boostagram from the last one, friends don't let friends buy NFTs.
Kyrin's been letting himself buy NFTs.
So funny. That was my favorite clip, man. Like that clip I was just talking to you about of you calling me out. That's honestly like one of the highlights, probably top 20 Mere Mortal moments for me.
Of so far, yeah, good.
Yeah. But yes, I think the thing is if I was going to do it, it would be sort of minimal effort, and I just don't think that's the way you'll truly
succeed with it.
Create an outstanding product and thing. I view them as products. They're like hugely amazing, powerful things that you can use.
Yep.
And I wouldn't want to do it for the art side of things. It'd be the utility for us. So
correct.
I'd want
We're definitely not the people who'd be out there for the artistic effort of it all.
So if it had some utility, some real world utility, yes. But anyway,
I can think of like really great things about it, but I just don't think that we could accomplish the execution of it.
Oh yeah.
That's what I can imagine.
Agreed. So let's get on to something just fun. Let's get on to something a little bit. Maybe even funly personal.
Okay.
Any Xmas traditions for you, Wani? Anything you do for Christmas with the family? We're coming up upon Christmas here.
We are coming up upon Christmas.
We are in Australia, so you should know that our Christmas traditions are very different from the rest of the world.
Very different. And again, different to how I guess we grew up as well with our Christmas traditions. I guess I'll go back to the original Christmas traditions of lighting the candles. So in Colombia, also in America in general, when you're a Christian, there's a whole tradition of lighting of the candles, which, if I remember correctly, it's something about like someone coming for Virgin Mary or something in relation to that. So you begin from that particular day and you go to different people's houses, and at each place you basically not get given gifts, maybe like a gift or two, but mostly food. You like catch up with a lot of your family members, and you go house to house all the way until Christmas Eve, and then Christmas for us, and it still is today.
And then by that time you're like sick of people, and Christmas is...
Well, if you're like not even introverted, if you were just like not a hardcore extrovert, you'd be like over it.
Yeah.
I loved it every single time. I used to like love just being with the cousins.
Yeah, for sure.
You're just playing games every single night. Yeah, dude, I loved it. So we obviously slowed that down a lot, and nowadays the only tradition we really have...
Much more difficult to do here when you're...
Well, when you go all your family, exactly, that's true. That's one. But the other one for us is still the tradition remains. We don't celebrate, realistically, Christmas Day. That's not... We don't actually celebrate that. We celebrate Christmas Eve more than anything. So a lot of our present giving is in Christmas Eve. And Christmas Day...
Yeah, I got to experience that.
Sometimes it's... 2
years ago.
2 years ago.
I came over on Christmas Eve with my ex, Andrea, who's Colombian.
Yep.
And, because to like give her a reminisce of home while she was here. And that was strange for me. We were giving out presents and like,
on
it's
Christmas
not time
Eve.
for presents
like, what
yet,
the hell?
people. What's going on?
Exactly. So I don't think we've done a Christmas Day celebration with my family for... either ever or for like the longest time. But I do remember doing some Christmas Day celebrations with other people, with exes or with other families or with friends. So that's happened. But aside from that, apart from the giving, Not much else. I know we're planning a bit of a barbecue on Christmas Eve this year around.
Nice.
So, and I'm sure we'll do, like we already said, we'll do like any gift giving around that time as well, which is going to be like in the afternoon of a Christmas Eve.
Yeah,
so
for sure.
That ends up being our tradition.
Yeah, okay.
What about yours?
Yeah, ours has morphed over the years. When I was younger, basically until I was probably about 16, 17, my dad's side of the family, they all live in the Sydney, Newcastle area, and mum's side of the family is all in New Zealand. So my parents would sort of view it as an opportunity to visit, essentially.
Gotcha.
They were both high school teachers, so they both had plenty of time off. Holiday time, other people have time off. My mum has many brothers, my dad has many sisters, so we would basically alternate every year. So
between going to one or the other.
1 year would be in New Zealand, next year would be in Sydney, Newcastle, and then maybe like once every 6 years we'd just stay at home because here in Brizzy, because we only had one of my uncles living here, and that was basically it.
Yeah, right.
When we were there, just the normal stuff, family get-togethers, big, probably more focus on the Christmas day, and usually the Christmas lunch, I think, was the biggest
on the Christmas day
for us.
Yeah.
Yep.
Was there any traditional type of Christmas lunch? Was it like prawns? Was it meat?
No, because my dad's side of the family are all Seventh-day Adventists, so no meat there, no alcohol there. Yep. So it was kind of... I don't know what other people...
Did you ever bring any alcohol?
Yeah, like 6-year-old Kyrin just down and shots. Where's the eggnog, bitches? No. So none of that. But my mum's side of the family, they're mostly all farmers, so they would have their own meats and stuff. Though not a whole lot of seafood.
That'd be pretty sick.
What I do remember from... So that was just like that period until the sort of 16 period, and then after that, uni gets involved, life gets involved. It's getting harder to alternate with things like this, and so I don't think we've done a Christmas like that in probably like 10 years, probably.
Okay.
And
was there plans at all this year?
No.
Yep.
It's I think also just maybe like less important because we're not super tight, our family. Just those distances involved is too difficult. Basically, there's no point really making friends with my cousins because like they're just the same as my second cousins in Sweden, for example. What's the point? But no, Christmas traditions now for me and my family. Well, it's me, my brother, mum, and dad, and basically our thing is we hate traffic. They're all like me. We hate traffic.
We all hate traffic.
So we will go down to the Gold Coast, go to the beach in the early morning. Usually go for a walk along the beach, not necessarily a swim.
What's early morning like? You're talking like 7 a.m., 8 a.m.?
Yeah, 7, 8 a.m. Okay. Yep. And
I drove down to the Gold Coast. So for people at home, where we live, Brisbane down to the Gold Coast, it's roughly about 40 kilometres, I'd say, 45 kilometres.
From your parents' house? Or
from my parents' house, about 40, 45 kilometres. And went down to the Gold Coast yesterday, and it took over an hour to get down there because of the traffic at about 10 a.m.
Yeah.
So to get out a little bit early, you basically save yourself probably like half an hour of just being in traffic.
For sure. And so we'll go there, Christmas breakfast, McDonald's. Super traditional.
Is it always McDonald's too?
Pretty much, yeah. I don't know when that started. I think... I'm guessing that started sometime when my brother was a youngster and he loved McDonald's. I've never been a fan of breakfast, so it wouldn't have been me pushing it.
Right, but then do you have breakfast at McDonald's too?
Maybe. Okay. I think last year I might have had a hash brown and maybe nibbled at some other people's stuff. But not particularly, no. So, but yeah, we'll see.
Okay. So so this year the tradition will continue? You guys will go down
for sure.
Christmas Day.
100% sure.
100% sure you'll do. Yeah.
And then we usually come back.
Is it like a cardinal sin if you don't do that? Like if your brother was like, I'm not going.
It's kind of become a tradition.
Yeah.
I mean, we went there when Andrea was here, so we went to yours for Christmas Eve, and then the next day we went down there, and the weather was shite house. It was pouring, pouring crazy. Did we go to I don't even think we made it out to the beach. I think we just, went through a McDonald's drive-through ate McDonald's. So it was essentially like we just drove down to the Gold Coast
to get McDonald's.
But yeah, I'd say it's pretty much a
But the ritual happened. Yeah, okay.
And then once again, the lunch is the more important part. So that's where usually
lunch back at home.
Yeah, lunch back at home, and that was usually when my uncle would come around. So. I think we mostly do gifts in the morning before we leave, but if we all wake up late, it's like we don't want to get caught in traffic. Let's do gifts when we come back
later. Okay, yeah. There's no rush for the gifts.
And then for food, ham and cheese croissants. That's the
lunch.
That's the
ham
lunch,
and cheese
man.
croissants. Wait,
super traditional.
Do you buy them? Do you make them at home?
I make them, yeah.
So you make the croissants yourself?
No. I don't make croissants from scratch. I buy all the ingredients, and so when I make them, I literally put ham and cheese in them.
This is piggery. I love it. This is good. It's like there's a traditional sub-mere mortal level that we are here with our food eating when it comes to like a really enjoyable traditional meals. McDonald's and croissants with ham and cheese.
Have you got to experience a white Christmas before?
It's a good question. Just trying to think through if I have.
I never have. Even, I've never been to Europe. I've been to the Northern Hemisphere, yes, in my travels, but that was I was already back in Colombia for Christmas, so that I got to experience more of the traditional one you were talking about.
Yeah, although, I've been in the US during Christmas time, but wasn't snowing in the areas that I was. But there were some real cold places where I've been there.
Yeah, I definitely want to.
Maybe it snowed one day in San Francisco. Actually, maybe it did snow one day. So maybe I guess you could term it as like one single day.
Yeah. I definitely want to experience.
I lie. I 100% have actually because and I'll tell you a story. So like. We were in US in 2016. No, 2015. Yeah, no, shit. 2014 or 2015. And 'cause I finished university, I remember that, and went over, and I was in LA, went to San Francisco, and then we drove up to Yellowstone National Park, and we stayed there around the Christmas time. And in a particular lodge that we were staying at, it was completely snowing up there. So. Yes, I have experienced
nice.
White Christmas.
Yeah, so I definitely want the experience of, sitting by the fire, cognac in hand.
It is nice. It is really nice. It is really nice.
Freezing balls outside. You can, super dark, and you're getting drunk off, random stuff and that. I want to experience that someday. I think my problem, though, will be the time sandwiched in between there, because I hate the cold. And so if it's like... There's like a white Christmas where everything is, like in the ads, the movies and whatnot, it's, beautifully snowing outside, light, fluffy. You can go out and snowboard and ski and throw snowballs, make snowmen. Like, I want to experience that someday, but I don't think that's probably
there's some part of it that's reality, but
probably
I think what people don't tell you is the wetness.
Yeah, the wetness. Yeah.
That's one thing I do recall where, being around on the ground and whatnot, it was like, oh, it's nice. But then everywhere you'd walk around, it was just wet. Like, everything got wet.
Yeah.
And it's like, but I do love, I remember, like, sitting by the fire, reading a book, and kind of had, like, a little doona thing over, like, the side of me, and I was like, this is pretty sick. This sounds
nice, man.
Yeah, so that was good. Same thing in Monterey, in California. I had that, and I didn't even know where I was. I just booked this place, and again, it was a similar thing, and we could only stay the one night, got there really late, and then when we woke up in the morning, I was like, dude, this is like such a beautiful place. I was like, man, I wish I had stayed here like way more. So next time, if I can make it happen, I'm going to stay there for a couple of days to Monterey.
For sure.
I've got a little interesting story for you.
Okay.
Something I bested someone the other day, and I was going to almost share it, but I thought I'll keep it for this. No.
Intellectual
challenges.
Batteries, chess.
No. But close. So I walked into my, not local anymore, but the Springwood gym at Good Life. I've walked in and I've gone, all right, I'm going to have a good session, there's good fun. And there was a couple of people right at the table, as you sort of walk in, and they were giving away pre-workouts, they were giving aminos, and I thought, this is awesome. I'm going to have a couple of sips. And then there was a guy there giving out some cookies, like little like protein cookies. And I'm like having a little bite, and he's like, hey, mate, do you want to go, there's a challenge on right now. And I see a Rubik's Cube in front of him.
Oh, yeah.
So a Rubik's Cube in front of him. And he goes, there's a challenge on, would you like to get involved with it?
Sub 1 minute.
And I go, And it does involve sub 1 minute. And he's gone, hey, there's a challenge. I can solve this Rubik's Cube in under a minute, you've got to put down 5 names so that we can try and get onto the gym list.
Okay.
Right? But if I don't do it in sub 1 minute, you get a free protein cookie, like a big protein cookie. And I went, I'm going to get this motherfucker. I was like, I'm going to get this dude because
You're going to try and distract him.
So he was a young guy. So here you go. You know how to solve Rubik's Cube as well, right?
I have done it before. I remember some of the
parts,
but
right?
If you gave it to me right now, I'd stuff it up. I wouldn't be able to.
But I'll tell you the key how to stuff up someone. So this is for you, me Immortalites. If any time anyone places trick on you, unless they're really good, you'll get them beat. So I can see that he's sort of mucking around with it a little bit. He knows how to do this. Like he knows how to solve Rubik's Cube really well. And I went, okay. Of course, he's going to solve it under a minute. You don't put this challenge out if you don't think you can do it under a minute. But I went, okay, I'll take a challenge on. I'm like, sure. And I was like, okay, I'll grab a cookie, the biggest cookie I can get for it. And he's like, oh, deal. But on one condition. On one condition. And he's like, what that? And I'm like, you don't start by solving the white side of the Rubik's Cube.
Okay.
So he was like, oh, okay. And eventually he was like, okay, all right, I can do that, right?
Which shouldn't matter because there's nothing special about the white.
Nothing special about the white, correct. So
but you saw him solving it with the white?
So the way that anybody will get taught of solving a Rubik's Cube, you'll always normally start with the white side.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
I just learned, just pick a colour and start with
exactly. So but most often, people will generally learn by the white. And the reasoning being is because most procedurally, you'll learn the white and you'll learn, the red go next to the blue and then the green and then the orange.
I suppose it makes sense if you just pick one side and keep going with that.
Correct. And he was really good at that. He was really, really good. So I could see him in his mind, he kind of like thinking through how he can do this. So he goes, yeah, okay, I'll start it with the yellow. And I said, but not the yellow. And that's where I got him. Because if he picked the yellow, he'd still have the combination of his blues, his reds, his greens, and oranges all in the same routine. Like he could still know, red needs to go to blue needs to go to green, orange, or whatever that color pattern is. And I stuffed him up, so he was like, I'll just like pick whatever other color you want. So then, you don't normally generally know like, what colors does the yellow normally go next to? Is it the red and the green, or is it the, is it blue next to the white or something like that? So I was like, cool, he'll do it. And he was, got to give it to him, like very quick. He was smashing it through. He ended up doing it in 1:17 seconds, I think it was. So even when he picked a random one, and you could see him struggling, he was super fast and got it done. But eventually, bested him out of the cookie. I would be interested to know if the way you learned.
Yeah, no, I never learnt with any of the colours per se. Like I never knew the relationship between blue, yellow, and red, or even if those are on the same side on a corner. I always learnt with just pick a colour, solve the bottom, and then the sort of sides, and then it's just between, you just need to like recognize where this next portion goes, and then from the top up it's just all algorithms. Like
there's no patterns.
There's no
get it to be like the little arrow pointing to the left hand side.
It doesn't matter if it's green, it just matters if it's in a rectangular shape or a star shape or a cross, and then if it's these ones, it doesn't matter the color. It just matters where the color is placed.
In the positional placing. Yeah, exactly.
So that's how I learned. And look, I think my best was 1:20, 1:30. So I don't think I ever cracked
1 minute.
Yeah.
Similarly, I was able to do like between a minute and 2 minutes. I reckon I could still do a minute, 2 minutes now. But yeah, if you were to tell me, because I learned completely from the white, or I could do it from the yellow. But if someone told me like red, it would completely slow me down for sure. Just because I'm so like pattern used to going like, this red goes here, this blue goes here. So I can solve that piece of where like the white goes and like halfway up to the Rubik's Cube, maybe in 20 seconds. I reckon it'll take me 20 seconds to do that.
Yeah.
But if I didn't know that exact pattern, I think it would take me a good minute to go through the rest of it.
There you go.
Yeah. So there's a little tip at home for people for Rubik's Cubes. If anyone challenge you want a free cookie, that's how you trick them.
Nice.
Try and go down that path. But yeah, I got him sweating. I
wouldn't have thought about that. My tactic would have been okay, but
punch him in the head as he's doing it.
I was just watching the
just kick the Rubik's Cube out of his hand.
All of your like real life examples. I was editing one of the latest videos, and you gave an example where you're like, it's hard to. So what was the last topic on? The last topic was about. I'm blanking here.
Talking about last week's topic.
Yeah. What were we talking about?
Wasn't the...
God damn, man. I was editing this.
It wasn't the free...
It was free. And you were talking about if someone's, you can have a different opinion of free if someone's just like kicking and bashing you in the face. I'm like, when is this ever going to happen, Juan? Well, like, what kind of real life situation is this? Your analogies are possible next level. No, my strategy was going to be, okay, but I'm allowed to talk to you, or you have to answer questions. You have to have a conversation with, maybe not a conversation, but you have to answer questions back to me whilst doing it. So I'm allowed to ask you, what's 3 plus 3? What's 9 times 6? And that sort of thing. Yeah. That would have been my tactic.
He was, I really don't know exactly how good he was, but he was solving it half the time without looking at it too. So he like just quickly kind of looked at it and then started really solving it without really looking into it too much. So he was like, that's pretty good. He was
pretty good level. Very good. That's a fun little story there. I have had a new experience as well, not cookie related, but I got reached out to by this guy called Identity Faraz on Instagram.
Oh yes.
And I was like, oh, what's this? And basically, it's a Indian YouTuber. He also does stuff on Instagram, but mostly YouTube.
Sure.
And yeah, he liked some of the book reviews and actually offered to me to come on to his show
to do a live
show. And that in particular was the new experience. So,
how was it? How was it doing the live show?
It's fun. It's a different game. Okay. You could see he'd done it enough times, and he'd built up a channel of a couple thousand subscribers. I mean, he's sort of like us. He's got 3 channels. One is called, I should actually shout him out. So one is called Rude Philosophy. The other one, I believe, is just called Faraz. I should probably check that. And then he had one in which he does in Hindu as well, which is sort of replicating almost what you and I did, and with like I had the Reseñas channel, and sorry, let me quickly go here. Identity Faraz is his, and Rude Philosopher, and then I don't know the Hindu one because
that's pretty cool. Yeah,
I'm not particularly interested in Hindu.
No,
well, maybe one day. Anywho, yeah. So it's a different experience. Definitely different experience because you can see him having to multitask. So it's not a direct one-to-one like this. You're not particularly attempting to solve a Rubik's Cube while I'm chatting with you.
True.
And things like that. So you could see him whilst I was answering and chatting, he's still looking at the screen, but you can kind of tell he's doing other things. Like he's looking at the chat, he's making sure that the cameras and stuff are still working, the audio, like there's a little bunch of stuff you have to do. I mentioned this in the Adam Curry chat, but if you ever want to see a true pro at work, look at his YouTube channel and then making how the sausage is made, or making the sausage.
How the sausage is made.
And he's got a screen, 2 screens, I think, but probably 6 or 7 different tabs and mini windows open in it. He's watching the levels. He's bringing stuff in
while he's doing the live.
Yeah, it's crazy, man. His everything he does from start to finish is live. So he hits the record button, and then he creates he plays the music, and he's tuning the music up as he's doing it whilst speaking over into it. Tunes the music down, adding clips in live, going back in clips. So he'll play the clip and then they'll stop, go back. And dude, it's insane. Watching him, and you're like, God. Okay, I can see that you've been perfecting your craft for not only the podcasting craft, which is, I think they're up to, he personally is up to probably 17, 18 years, and their show I think was 14, but also the craft of radio with how much to say, when to cut in, when to stop, when to introduce. Yeah, man.
That's phenomenal.
It's crazy. Really crazy.
So how did you find it with like the commentary and stuff like that?
Yeah, it was fun. I actually did a little sneaky bit as well. So if you watch it, you'll see I'm sometimes looking at the side because I had my phone up and I was looking at the YouTube live and the comments as they came in.
Okay, yeah.
And it's definitely a different experience, man. You're getting that interaction. We've talked about it here.
How much interactions did you engage? So like, were you guys answering like half the time questions coming through?
Yeah, probably about that. Probably about half the time. We'd bring up a topic. I'd talk about it. He'd talk about it. Maybe I'd talk about it again, and then he'd bring up the next question. Something usually like that. And so we probably got through 6, 7 questions maybe in the entire chat.
How long did the chat go for?
I think it was an hour and a half.
Yeah.
Something like that.
That'd be good fun.
And yeah. And look, man, we were just chatting about books the whole time. So I was like, man, I could do this all day,
ages,
man. I could chat about books all day.
And he then published that, left it published as like a video?
Yeah. So it was funny because I couldn't find it for a while, but maybe it was just you do the live stream and then it takes a while to re-upload afterwards or something. But that's online. I'll chuck a link up.
Yeah, that's really cool.
So yeah, it just got we've been chatting. We tried doing it live once. Didn't have a big audience. Sort of felt like we were talking into a void.
True.
Nowadays, I think we'd maybe be able to rope some people into be in there as well. So I definitely want to do the live experience again, and so just look out for that. I'm not promising it in the next week, but maybe in January. That I think that'll be part of one of my goals to start experimenting and properly trying around with that.
Yeah. I think it would be something different again.
You ever done anything live as well? Like,
I think aside from the stuff that we've done, Nah, like never. Obviously,
like live TV or solving Rubik's cubes, punching people on live TV.
None of that. No. Nah.
Anything else you got? I got one or two more.
Go on. No, apart from my Rubik's cube story, I had no other key things.
Yeah. Okay. So I was going to say, I might start putting the name in the show notes for people who send in I was going to say like the biggest Boostagram, but maybe it'll just be everyone who sends in a Boostagram to help support the show. So I might start. I've kind of been doing that, but I was going to do it. One of the things Adam was saying was producers, and so he doesn't call his audience his listeners. He calls them as producers because they are literally supporting the show via donations. They're sending in clips for him to use. They have created multiple different websites and search engines, and they create image art. Like they're literally producing. I personally don't like the word producers, and I think he uses it because he comes from
that sort of background,
television, a audience background. So I was wondering, should we have a name for our audience? We've already said the mere mortalites, but should there be a subcategory for people who are supporting as well? They have the whole knighting system as well. These are things I think he was saying mostly should occur naturally. You shouldn't force them, but I think it'd be worth thinking about as well. So if you've got any,
well,
if you want to call them anything idiot, like anything in idiots, like you're dumb enough to support the mere mortals, or there could be all sorts of things that we could.
I mean, I think that would be a good idea. Apart from just calling them supporters, 'cause I mean, you could deem that as being like everybody who listens to us as being supporters, but then if you're genuinely deciding that there's enough value there and supporting you in that manner as well, then something else.
There's different levels. There's people who share stuff. There's people who obviously would send through Bitcoin and stream. Then there's the next level, which is sending a message. There's levels to it. And so one other thing just sort of related to that, which is not forcing things, was one thing I want to be conscious of is not chasing trends for the views / popularity. We had a recent spike with our Hosky escapades.
Hosky conversations.
which was fun. It's a lot of fun. But I really want to just stress, like, if I start to talk about Hosky or
repeatedly,
maybe like, look, the biggest videos, the biggest, most traction we've had have been vids on Adam Curry, on Hosky, and things mentioning in India, like the kabaddi, and I think maybe the 1 pound fish dude, and things like that. I don't, whilst fun, and I'm glad they crop, like we talked about it because they're interesting. I want to make sure don't fall into the trend of like, let's talk about Hosky because we can
going back to the well of that thing,
and things like that. The problem though is like the trends are trends. They're,
for a reason.
Because they're fun, they're exciting. So it's there's another request for the supporters, mere mortalites, whatever we're calling you. If you notice either of us starting to do that, I want to call out. I want to
I even felt personally in some of the previous meanderings we've been having for a couple of months that we've been talking so much about crypto and NFTs and all of that's trend. Which, again, it's trending in our personal lives.
Well,
So we're into it
I was going to say, like, but the proof of that is we haven't blown up because of it. so it's not
true.
like we're chasing trends there.
That's true. That's true.
We're doing the opposite. We're following the anti-trend of people aren't interested in this, but
we're still talking anyway. Yeah, but I think that there's ultimately, some variety that I would also want to see if it was from a different, if it was a podcast that I was listening to. Although, in saying that, like, say, a couple of people's podcasts, which are generally quite varied, like, say, Tim Ferriss, I've seen that there's a definite trend of Web 3.0, metaverse, crypto chats in there where more than I'd usually see. I'm like, well, there's quite a bit in there. So, it's a sign of the times.
I noticed the same on, Lex Fridman. He just rapidly started getting Vitalik on, Charles Hoskinson, multiple Bitcoin podcasters, multiple people who were there in the early days of Bitcoin and things like that. So it's getting that mix and balance right between chasing the trends and doing something for your own and just making sure you're not shilling. That's the main one.
Make sure you're not shilling.
If I'm ever shilling shit, man, I'm just you have permission to punch me, kick me, do all the things that you obviously want to with your deep-seated psychological issues.
If Kyrin tells us one more time that he's got a good Hosky NFT that's
check out this Hosky
level 69,000 or something like that.
Peter will come across from Scandinavia and slap the shit out of me as well.
Oh yeah, as he should.
He has permission. That's one of the. That's what our NFT can be. We'll create an NFT, and he'll be like, "Oh, why are you creating NFTs, you stupid idiots?" And then I'm like, you have permission with this NFT.
You have permission to slap Kyrin.
To slap Kyrin, to assault Kyrin for 15 minutes. No weapons, no. You can use maybe a baseball bat, but no spikes on it. Things like that, and I won't press charges. And there's in the smart contract, it's Kyrin will not press charges.
I'd be a
and
dangerous.
then Petar, who's going to be laughing.
It's going to be conflicted.
Yeah, he's going to be
like, what do
conflicted.
I do?
Should we go on to some Boostagrams?
I reckon we should.
Okay, cool. Well,
have we got a few?
Yeah, we do, and it's been a bit of a nightmare this week because my Satoshi stream was stuffing up on me, and so some were coming through. I was seeing some big boosts, and there was no messages attached. And I'm like, there's probably messages here. I doubt they're just hitting a big boost for no reason. So, anyone, apologies if I miss out. I really have tried my best to.
Do they come through as well on our Discord little?
So they should, but for some reason it was deactivated, so they weren't coming through the Discord. So I had to get the Excel file and look at it in there, and it's a bit messy and whatnot. I did it last night, and then I just saw we got another boost in the last 24 hours, which I might not have got. So. Gotcha. I'm just going to try my best right here and see how we go. So, in no particular order, we have from Dave Jones. So we definitely both saw this one come through. So this was 50,000 Satoshis. Oh my God, using Customatic. So people, this is actually real life. That's not an insignificant amount.
Yeah.
So current conversion.
Imagine if by 2030, $1 was equal to a sat.
Oh my God.
You've given away a lot of sats.
I've given away a lot of sats. I've given away a lot of Huskies.
Yeah.
Given away a lot of ADA.
Massive. I saw that come through and I was like, damn.
So that's $25 maybe even more than that.
Maybe more actually.
$25 to $30. That's not nothing.
That's not nothing. Yeah.
So he says, "Merry Christmas, boys. Keep up the great show. Given the conversion rate from USD to Australian dollar dues, this should be enough to buy each of you a new car." I have heard some whisperings of Juan talking about new cars. So this can maybe
go into the fund.
This can go into the fund for that. Yes, for sure. All right. So some of the other ones that have come through. Let me check the Discord quickly here. Boostagrams. So we received one from at Mary Oscar.
Oh yes.
So this is Oscar Mary, recently on the podcast. Check out that conversation number 65. And he says, "Thanks so much for having me on, Kyrin. Really appreciate it, and thanks for all your support of Fountain so far." Smiley face, and that was 7777.
Oh, 7777.
Thank you very much, Oscar.
Thank you very much.
It was awesome to have you on. I've had a bit of pushback because I was asking him about other cryptocurrencies being used with value for value. And it's definitely in the world of podcasting 2.0, there's more a trend towards a maximalist. I wouldn't say they're maximalist because, for example, they're using PodPing, which is connected to the Hive blockchain, which has monetary crypto. It's so hard to know whether I should say crypto blockchain or cryptocurrency or like, yeah. So, but yeah, it was a pleasure to have him on, and I do suggest you go check that out if you're interested in what it takes to create a good app and whatnot. All right, so see, these are some of the ones which are, like, for example, in the Excel file, you're not given the name of the person, or, yeah, I don't believe you're given the name in there as well. So I don't know particularly who said it, so I'm going to try and guess just based on the comment itself. So we got one which was it's not even showing the sats amount. Damn it, that's annoying. So this was, it's important to not enable people who play the victim card. Got to shut that shit down with some tough love. Love heart. So I'm going to guess that was Petar.
I'm going to guess Petar, yeah.
And so that was on the victim versus player. The good one about this is it shows when it came through, like what time. So that was at 32 minutes, 10 seconds. It shows the episode.
Yeah, okay, so, that's good. So
that's helpful, but yes, the sat amount, it should be in here. I don't know why it's not. Apologies, I can't read out the sat amount. Another one, it's not 5 Bitcoins, but it's an honest living. Grats on the monthly goals, mortals. So that was when I was requesting people to send through 5 Bitcoins. Would only once again, I'm guessing it's Petar. So if I'm attributing wrongly, I'm trying to fix this out, people. Like, this is work in progress. There's 3 tests from me, which is when I realized that the thing was screwing up. So there's all of those. I'm not sure who this one is because I don't think it's Petar. And it says, "I will not disparage the Hosky. I will not disparage the Hosky. I will not disparage the Hosky." Poo emoji. So
that's definitely not Petar. I don't think that's. Or maybe it could be.
Yeah, like could be him having some fun. Whoever you are, you Hosky degenerate. Thank you. Thank you very much. And then there was another one which was quite long, and so this was Ari the Oscar Mary interview. I have a feeling this might be Nullifier. So this was a guy who Boostagrammed on the Value for Value podcast a couple of weeks ago, and so he was the one who was giving me a bit of pushback on the cryptos, and I think this might be him.
Okay.
And then it says, Ari the Oscar Mary interview. Using new non-Bitcoin value token has a tough road to follow for several reasons. First, it was tried before and fizzled, most notably years ago by Adam B. Levine on the Let's Talk Bitcoin podcast. I actually need to research that because I didn't know about this. The reason it never took off, in my opinion, is related to Metcalfe's law. So for those who don't know that, I took a quick screenshot of what that is. Metcalfe's law says that a network's value is proportional to the square of the number of nodes in the network. The end nodes can be computers, servers, and simply users. For example, if a network has 10 nodes, its inherent value is 100. 10 times 10 equals 100, i.e. 10 squared.
Yep.
So essentially saying you just need to have people in there. So if you're introducing more Bitcoin, non-Bitcoin related currencies which don't have as much widespread users Bitcoin, like it just won't take off.
Correct.
Secondly, even if you do switch to a different token, you are still subject to regulatory oversight, Barter, Inc. I think that says Inc. Yeah, so etc. So agreed. My interest in asking that question was mostly just due to the use case. Like, would a different cryptocurrency which is more suitable for microtransactions, for multiple transactions, would that fit in more with the way value for value, like the technical aspects of value for value? So it's more a question on my part related to that. Personally, I see the Bitcoin being the way to go for it, but who knows in the future. I think that's it. I'll just quickly see if my latest attempt at downloading All right, so this one's real live. So this is me trying to bring it up in the moment. So one.
What do you mean in the moment?
So I was saying, I think I received some last night.
Oh, I got you. So you're trying to download to see.
So I downloaded that Excel file the other night.
Gotcha.
This is me doing it in the moment, trying to see if that Boostagram was something that came in. No, I don't believe so. I think it might have just been people streaming and whatnot.
Yeah, okay.
I can't see the boost amounts in here as well. I'm not sure about that.
This Excel spreadsheet needs better work. They need to improve this.
I mean, look, man, this is amazing that they are doing all of these things anyway. I 100% appreciate it. Sorry, no, it does have some values here. Okay, so I can actually say what people were giving us before. So the Oscar Murray one, I believe that was 1,222 sats. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
So Oscar Murray, yes, we already talked about that one. The victim card, that was 3,300 sats. Not sure sent who through.
Petar, potentially.
It's not 5 bitcoins. That was 2,200. Thank you, good sir, whoever you are. Pretty sure it's Peter. And then the Hosky one was also 3,300. So that was the person talking about they sent the same boost amount, so I imagine it's the same person, so I'm guessing it's Peter. Yeah. Thank you, Peter.
There you go.
Very much appreciated. Apologies, everyone. That was a bit messy, but I'm working on it. I'm trying to make this better. This was there was half an hour of work.
Trying to get that sort of stuff.
Damn. So just appreciate that, people.
Appreciate that, people.
I'll fix it up more in the future.
Awesome. Good. I think that's it, everybody.
Yes. We've been talking about it now, but Value for Value podcast. So we appreciate the value coming in, and this is what helps support, sustain the show, make the show better. If you send me more sats, I won't be as sloppy as that. I will be much better,
sharper
on the ball. How you can do that? Go to newpodcastapps.com, search out one with value, and we're really encouraging people to send in a Boostagram. It's a lot of fun. Direct communication between us, and we're going to start shouting you out in the show notes as well. So if you can do all of those things, very much appreciated. And if not, there's other ways of giving value. Hit us up and we'll be able to tell you how.
Oh, yeah. All right. Me and Mortalites, that's it for now. One out.
Kyrin out.
Ooh. Yeah.
Good.